r/AskReddit. Americans that voted for Trump in 2016 but will not be voting for him in 2020. What changed your mind about him? Serious. I was 18 and didn't understand anything and was just listening to my conservative parents. Pretty much my only reason I voted for him was because Hillary bad. I still don't understand anything about politics, but I understand things a little more than I did when I was 18. At this point, I actually try to form my own opinion rather than having people tell me. Sounds like my younger brother. I remember when I asked him why he preferred Trump to Hillary, the only thing he could come up with was her emails. He couldn't even tell me what was in the emails, just that she had them and it meant she was bad. Thankfully, he had just turned 17 instead of 18. Next year will be his first vote. Honestly, it was my first election, and I was dumb. How dumb. I voted the way my dad did and then I justified it. I've since done independent research and found other candidates that have views more similar to my actual views and ones that I like that I never knew existed before. I started noticing a significant divide happening, which he was the start of, and I began actually doing my own research on politics to form my own opinion instead of just hearsay from my conservative coworkers. I never really realized how much of a douche he was either. I just thought it was all liberal propaganda, but turns out that's actually just conservative propaganda. The dude is ducking insane and pathetic and completely regret voting for him. I was part of the blue wave and this will be the first time I've ever voted for a Democrat presidential candidate. I have the internet to thank for having so much info available. I was honestly hoping for something different with him. I can understand being rough around the edges, but my expectation as someone that has run many businesses, he would want to streamline the government as much as possible, making it more efficient and smaller. While there has been some positive movement in that direction, there has been plenty of unneeded regulation added. In addition, federal spending is out of control, something that no private business owner should be okay with. There is more that I am disappointed in, but that's a big part. I can already hear the downvotes piling up. I was raised Republican, and even though I was not a big Trump fan, I thought his policies would be better than anything Hillary was running on. I went to school for political science, and as I learned more about the political parties and their stances, I started to realize I stood more with Democratic views than Republicans. I followed the news as I studied and found that almost every headline that involved Trump made me furious. Not only was he, in my opinion, taking the wrong side in most situations, he was presenting himself in a way that presidents should never present themselves. It's clear Trump thinks he can do no wrong and can win any fight without true rhetoric, but with childish insults. Politics, in my opinion, have no place for childish insults and extreme partisanship, but instead should be a chance for the prevailing ideas to drive policy. No matter who the Democratic candidate is in 2020, they have my vote. I made the mistake of voting Trump in 2016 and will not make that mistake again. Bonus reason I won't vote for Trump. He is so pompous that he has admitted to his wrongdoings in the Ukraine/impeachment scandal and clearly believes he has done no wrong. He has no regard for law and order, and as such has no regard for what is right for the American people. I was hesitant to vote for him in the first place, but was a registered Republican in a closed primary swing state, Florida. This was the first presidential campaign I could vote in. I was 17 in 2012. I voted for Marco Rubio in the primary. He dropped out of the race that night and really liked John Kasich after. If I could do it all over again, I probably would have wasted. I voted for Gary Johnson, as I'm personally more libertarian than anything else. My parents are Fox News every night people, and I took my mom to a Trump rally, leaving with a significantly more positive view of him after seeing him in public, no cameras, with thousands of supporters around him. I changed my mind pretty quickly after Trump started. I had genuine optimism that he would get a solid team around him and make improvements without companies in his back pocket. I didn't expect all the fraternization with other countries, his extreme lack of tact once he was in position, like I said, optimistic, and just being a terrible representative of the nation. There are some good things like economy improvement, unemployment rates, and lower taxes for many, including myself. Those were the things I was voting for, and against Hillary, who I believe is a criminal. Now I've watched Trump ruin his name forever, drag down so many marginalized people, and be a complete dunce. His disrespect for women, immigrants, and other politicians, especially once in office, is really why I'm prepared to vote him out this time around. I've changed my party affiliation to Democrat, so I'll have some tiny say in the primary, and because calling myself a Republican just feels like a line now. I think I'm most interested in supporting Bernie than Warren, and particularly looking forward to the day we don't have a two-party system anymore. TLDR. Didn't love him in 2016. I'm a clown for thinking it could go any other way than it has, and have personally shifted my views away from the Republican Party in the last 3 years. Mostly, he's an idiot and an ass. To be honest, I voted for him because I don't like Hillary, and I honestly didn't know how bad he would be. I didn't expect anyone to take him or his policies seriously, and now it's a black stain on my conscience because he stands against almost all my beliefs and I helped him get in office. The problem is the fact that his business-first laws and regulations just keep big greedy corporations alive and not real businesses. He took us out of a lot of agreements that forced us and other countries to operate and consider the environment. I want to have a planet to pass down to my children and the next 10 generations after that. I work in a pretty conservative place. I've had older coworkers tell me they voted for him simply because he was Republican. Now they hope someone new takes over. It seems like they didn't care about most the things he did except working with Russia. There was quite a few things I liked off the back and supported the desire to bring some of the manufacturing back to US soil. There's been a lot of policies that came through after the first couple years that I either don't agree with or don't think they are necessary enough so that I would prefer an alternate candidate as compared to just hoping things get on track. I thought he would run it like a business and actually change things. Turns out I think his ego is huge and he's like a little kid. I did not vote for Trump, but most of my extended family did. Now they are screaming. Some are in bankruptcy watching their soybeans rot. Some have run out of unemployment and are working 3 jobs under the table but making the jobs economy stats look better. 3 are nurses who are also working as lab techs and making the new jobs added stats look favorable. And guess what? They will all vote for the Bagasti again because they are stupid, ignorant haters of anything that does not affirm their racist views. Abused women who want to see other women being abused. Frightened men who want to have someone on whom they can spit and not worry about being called to account. My extended family are white trash. They know it and they hate it, yet he makes them feel as if somehow they can matter again. Not until they allow their daughters to attend college. No punka Ted, ain't gonna happen. My partner voted for him because he doesn't like Hillary. He thinks it's really bad that her husband was president. She works in the government for a long time. Once a Secretary of State. Sorry, I typed Prime Minister earlier. That's too much. He also hates how the whole Bush family is running for president. Oh well, as an immigrant, I've never felt so much hate till recent years. Aggressive hate. He felt it too. He was very sorry for what happened to me. Of course, all the dumb shit Trump did made my partner said, even though I hate Hillary, I wish I voted for her. Edit. My dumb English. I was ready to shake up America with someone who wasn't in anyone else's political pockets. Turns out he is, but the pockets he is in isn't even in the USA. I'm pretty embarrassed about it, but honest because I definitely don't want to be seen as digging in my heels. Also, the whole handling of the Kurds recently was my I'm out of this moment. The way he carried himself in office. I always knew he was an upfront, arrogant person, but when you are representing the entire country of America, you should have a certain level of professionalism. Some of the things he said and how he said certain things while in office really turned me off. I felt like he didn't represent the American people in a positive light. He did a lot of good but won't be voting for him again if he is an option. I hated Hillary due to her blatant disregard for cybersecurity for the sake of convenience while she was at the State Department. She was too lackadaisical with security, and she truly represents someone who got involved in politics long ago and just never left and has been aiming for the top and wouldn't stop till she got there. She was at the time as blatantly in control over the Democratic Party as Trump is now. I was a never Hillary person and not a pro-Trump/Republican. I honestly didn't think he would be this bad. I thought I could just disagree, and if it was something that was really bad, that the Republican Party would rein him in. I really thought he might actually have made it out of office with more respect of the political world and personal growth. Never in a million years would I have imagined that he would be this bad and that he wouldn't just leave office because it got tough. I really expected him to just quit sometime in the first year or so. His bullying of Greta was the last straw for me.